concludes his official visit to Japan and arrives back in Maldives. Parliament passes a budget of over $4.155 million for Auditor General's office. And Parliament passes to appoint Maldivian ambassador to Saudi Arabia as the representative of Maldives to OIC.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News with me, Ismail Azam. President Ibrahim Mohamed Salah concludes his official visit to Japan and arrives back in Maldives. The visit was a highly successful event with the president bolstering long-standing friendly relations between the two island nations. While in Japan, President Salah held bilateral discussions with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on the best way to forward the already excellent relations between the two countries. During the meeting, the president thanked the Japanese premier for all the assistance provided for Maldives, and the two leaders offered their respective outlooks on how the two countries can better cooperate bilaterally and on the multilateral fora. Over the years, Japan has been an irreplaceable friend to Maldives, providing immense amount of aid and investing in the development of the human resources, infrastructure and climate resilience efforts of the country. Maldives owe much of the socio-economic progress to Japan, whose magnanimity was essential to helping the country achieving the milestone of graduating from least developing countries LDC's status in 2011 to be included in the middle income countries MICs. The executing organization responsible for facilitating much of the projects, investments and aid in Maldives have been the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. To rely his gratitude and explore further avenues for cooperation between Maldives and Japan, the president met with the president of JICA, Shinji Kitakao, as part of his visit. The itinerary of his trip also included a visit to Odawara city, the host for Maldivian athletes participating in the 2020 Summer Olympics, where he met Mayor Kenichi Kato and toured the Shioroma athletic field where Maldivian athletes will train prior for the games. The president also visited Japan's Maritime Disaster Prevention Center, MDPC, where the management and the staff shared their expertise regarding preventing and responding to maritime disasters. The president had traveled to Japan at the invitation of the Japanese government. In Japan, the president, along with several hundreds of heads of states and governments, as well as visiting dignitaries, attended the enthronement ceremony of Emperor Naruhito, formalizing the new monarch's ascent to the throne. Secretary Multilateral at Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Ali Nasir Mohammed, says President Ibrahim Mohamed Salah has become the spokesperson of the small island nations with the role he undertook at the 74th United Nations General Assembly, UNGA. Speaking on a program aired on PSM News, Secretary Multilateral Ali Nasir said the administration is working significantly to strengthen the foothold of Maldives in the international arena. The diplomat said the participation of a Maldivian head of state at UNGA after many years has poured in praise towards President Salah from the international community. Ali Nasir said the speech President Salah delivered has reignited hope amongst the heads of small nations. In his speech, the president produced several political arguments of small island nations. According to the Secretary Multilateral, Maldives have now reassumed its leadership role in representing small island nations in the international fora. He further said the international community accepts the efforts of Maldives in protecting the environment, and the solutions proposed by the president are deemed valid and sound by the bigger political powers. Secretary Multilateral Ali Nasir said Maldives is working to present itself in various international platforms to strengthen its power in the international arena. Ministry of Finance plans to propose a state budget of $2.5 billion to the Parliament for 2020. The Fiscal and Debt Strategy report published by the Ministry of Finance revealed that of the $2.5 billion budget, $2.4 billion is total expenses. The ministry estimates the budget deficit is expected to be $357 million, while the government expects $1.9 billion in incomes and grants. According to Fiscal and Debt Strategy report, tax income is expected to be $1.2 billion, while other income is expected to be $389 million. The amount expected in grants is $259 million. Baseline recurrent expenses forecasted for year 2020 is $1.3 billion, while $714 million is expected as baseline capital expenses. The medium-term budget baseline projects compiled by the Finance Ministry does not include new proposals from the government to generate additional income to state. The budget also does not include any cash grants the government may receive. The budget will be presented to the Parliament on October 31. Parliament of Maldives passes a budget of over $4.155 million for Auditor General's office. The budget was passed with votes from 82 parliamentarians following approval from Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts. The budget includes $51,298 for salary and allowances of the Auditor General. Further, $28,441 was allocated for salaries and allowances of the staff at Auditor General's office. Meanwhile, $259,740 was allocated for trips to be undertaken next year. In addition, about $65,000 was allocated for training programs to further enhance the skills of the staff. A further $65,000 was allocated to provide pension for staff, while about $78,000 was allocated to grant overtime for the staff. Parliament of Maldives passes to appoint Ambassador of Maldives to Saudi Arabia, Mohammed Khalil, as the representative of Maldives to Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC. The nomination was passed by votes from 82 parliamentarians following approval from Parliamentary Committee on National Security and Foreign Relations. Khalil has previously served as the High Commissioner and the Acting High Commissioner to Singapore. He attained his Diploma of Environmental Law and Policy at Jawaharlal Nehru University, India. He was accredited as the Ambassador to Saudi Arabia on June 16. OIC is an international organization founded in 1969, consisting of 57 member states with a collective population of 2 billion people. Parliament of Maldives passes Fathullah Jamil to be appointed as the Commissioner General of Taxation. The nomination was passed with votes from 82 parliamentarians following approval from Parliamentary Committee on Economic Affairs. The committee made the decision following an interview of the nominations. The committee also opened opportunity for the public to submit opinion on the nominations. President Ibrahim Mohamed Salah nominated Fathullah Jamil and Ismail Nasheed to be appointed as the Commissioner General of Taxation. Former Commissioner General of Taxation Yazid Mohammed was dismissed once President Saleh ratified the Second Amendment to the Tax Administration Act, which stipulates the Commissioner General of Taxation must be appointed within 30 days from the date of ratification. Parliament of Maldives passes to appoint Asma Shafiu as the Deputy Commissioner General of Taxation. The nomination was passed with votes from 81 parliamentarians following approval from Parliamentary Committee on Economic Affairs. The committee made the decision following an interview of the nominations. The committee also opened opportunity for the public to submit opinion on the nominations. President Ibrahim Mohamed Salah nominated Muhammad Siraj Munir, Asma Shafiu, Ismail Sajid, Ahmad Sharif, Ahmad Wafir and Hamdi Agil to be appointed as the Deputy Commissioner of Taxation. However, only Asma Shafiu and Ismail Sajid attended the interview conducted by the committee to approve a nomination. Therefore, both nominations were approved and forwarded to the Parliament floor for voting. Former Deputy Commissioner General of Taxation Hassan Zareed was dismissed once President Ibrahim Mohamed Salah ratified the Second Amendment to the Tax Administration Act, which stipulates the Commissioner General of Taxation must be appointed within 30 days from the date of ratification, as well as the Deputy Commissioner of Taxation. Speaker of Parliament Mohammad Nasheed calls on all relevant authorities to reveal the names of those complicit parliamentarians involved in the corruption scandal of Maldives Marketing and Public Relations Corporation, MMPRC. Speaker Nasheed's call to reveal the names follow a press conference in which a Commissioner of Police Muhammad Hamid, President of Anti-Corruption Commission ACC Mariam Shiuna, and President of Presidential Commission on Corruption and Asset Recovery Ahmad Assad revealed details on embezzlement scandal. It was revealed in the press conference that 44 parliamentarians in the 18th cycle and 16 parliamentarians of the current cycle were complicit in the scandal. Speaking at a conference held at the Parliament, Secretary General Fatmat Anusha said the Speaker, the Secretariat and the parliamentarians are working hard to speak and keep the integrity of the parliamentarians. She also raised concern on the accusations that some parliamentarians were accomplices in the scandal at a time the Parliament is trying to considerably to ensure integrity of the parliamentarians. Therefore, Speaker Nasheed has requested the representative and respective authorities to share the names of complicit parliamentarians in the scandal. The Parliament is also running an investigation to identify parliamentarians who leaked names of complicit parliamentarians shared by Prosecutor General Aishad Bisham in a closed committee session. Parliamentarian Ismail Ahmed states the Minimum Wage Committee has discussed setting rates based on the industries as preparations are underway to draft the minimum wage bill. He further said parliamentarians do not carry the idea of setting a different rate for different sectors. He also said the locals and the expatriates would also be allocated the same minimum wage rates on similar jobs. However, the parliamentarian said the best approach is allocating the minimum pay based on employment sectors. He also discussed the economic impact of minimum wage bill on Maldives in the long run. Should carefully planning and thinking is not brought forward in drafting the bill. The parliamentarian said a minimum wage bill is essential to ensure the rights of employees. He explained, although many employees are working day and night, the culture in Maldives enables the rich to get richer. He expects the culture to change with the introduction of the bill, allowing employees to earn a more justified wages based on their work, preventing employers from exploiting their employees. Establishing a minimum wage is an electoral pledge of President Ibrahim Mohamed Salah. The government expects to ratify the bill at the beginning of next year. Some believe the minimum wage rate shall only be set for locals, while the inclusion of expatriates in the bill should not require the government and other private sector employers to pay expatriates a salary an employer cannot bear. High Court of Maldives requests Maldives Police Service MPS to investigate possible bribery requests by judges in settling Hibalidu case. Hibalidu was awarded to Business Maldives Private Limited to develop a resort although a contract was terminated following the discovery of a large cache of weapons on the island. A statement issued by the High Court on October 27 stated it has submitted the case to Maldives Police Service after an article published on a local newspaper accused judges of requesting bribery from Business Maldives to settle the case in their favor. The statement further explained it was forwarded to Maldives Police Service as it is a serious corruption issue and the High Court needed to identify who mediated the transaction on behalf of the High Court judges and find the phone numbers of the anonymous callers. The High Court also aims to ascertain the judges who traveled at the expenses of Ahmed when he was the tourism minister. The court said it will cooperate with MPS fully in the investigation as public confidence on the judiciary is important. The statement further said such cases must be investigated to ensure public trust in the judiciary. Beijing's brand new Daxing International Airport launches international and Hong Kong, Macau and Taiwan services and saw 9 outbound and 6 inbound flights on the first day.
The Daxing International Airport's first outbound flight was CA757 to Bangkok and the first inbound flight was BA039 from the UK. Beijing Customs said it has taken multiple measures to streamline exit and entry procedures to optimize the experience for passengers. After passengers went through self-service check-in machines and checked their luggages, the 50 convenient channels can complete the process of passport scanning and fingerprint and facial information collection in 15 seconds. In the outbound links, Daxing Airport took the lead in China in adopting the clearance mode that combines the 2 checkpoints of customs and security inspection into one. It took passengers less than 20 minutes to complete the entire outbound customs clearance. The first batch of 12 international Hong Kong, Macau and Taiwan air routes have been opened at the airport. These daily flights are about 12, accounting for about 3% of all the flights handled daily by the airport. These daily flights are about 12, accounting for about 3% of all the flights handled daily by the airport. It is expected that by the end of March next year, the number of international Hong Kong, Macau and Taiwan routes will increase to 22, the number of daily flights will increase to 22, and the number of inbound and outbound passengers is expected to reach 4,400 per day. The airport opened to flights on September 25th. Located 46 kilometers south of downtown Beijing, the new aviation hub is shaped like a phoenix spreading its wings. Its passenger and cargo throughout are expected to reach 72 million and 2 million tons respectively by 2025, with 620,000 takeoffs and landings.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi issues a decree to extend the country's already imposed state of emergency for another 3 months, starting from October 27.
According to the decree, the armed forces and the police will take necessary measures to face the perils of terrorism and its finance, maintain security nationwide, protect public and private properties, and preserve the lives of citizens. Under the Egyptian constitution, presidential decisions to renew the state of emergency must be approved by the country's parliament. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi first imposed a 3-month nationwide state of emergency in April 2017 following a twin bombing at 2 churches in the northern provinces of Karbia and Alexandria that killed at least 47 and wounded over 120 others. Egypt have been facing a wave of terror activities that killed hundreds of policemen, soldiers and civilians since the popularly backed military ouster of former President Mohamed Morsi in 2013 and the later security crackdown on his loyalists, mostly from the currently outlawed Muslim Brotherhood group. Most of the attacks were claimed by the Wilayat Sinai, a Sinai-based group affiliated with the IS terrorist organization.
Pakistan's coach Misbah AlHaq says he was eager to see what schoolboy paceman Naseem Shah could produce on Australia's fast pitches despite concerns over the 16-year-old's readiness for the rigors of Test cricket.
Naseem Shah, who has played only 5 first-class matches since his 2018 debut for Zarai Taraqiati Bank Limited, was named in Pakistan's squad for the 2 Test series against Team Payne's Australia, which begins in Brisbane next month.
It's always good to just be in Australia because you enjoy cricket here. Obviously, it's a challenge. Whichever team comes to Australia, they're a strong team, and obviously, I believe if it's a bigger challenge, it just presents you with a bigger opportunity also. So it's a young team, bit of youngsters in the team, looking forward for a very good series.
With Naseem to lock horns with Steve Smith, the world's best batsman if selected, critics in Pakistan fear the Kello cricketer could be in for a harrowing debut down under.
In all spells, he's bowling quick, and his control with the ball is also good. So we're looking forward that he can just bowl well here in Australia, where the conditions may just give him some sort of assistance in getting pace and bounce from these wickets. Everybody's excited to just get him in the team also. People there in Pakistan are just waiting how he bowls in Australia.
Misbah has played a premium on youth in the upcoming 2020 and Test series, selecting 19-year-old Musa Khan in both his squads, with a third teenage quick in Shaheen Afridi also picked for the Tests. Pakistan played the first of 3 T20 matches against Australia in Sydney on Sunday.
A cardigan owned by music great Kurt Cobain reportedly sells for $334,000 at an auction in New York.
The green acrylic, mohair and lycra cardigan sweater worn by Cobain during Nirvana's appearance on MTV Unplugged in 1993 surpassed an expected sale price of $300,000. The sale of the iconic garment came as part of the Icons and Idols rock and roll auction held by Julien's Auctions. Julien's Auctions CEO Darren Julian described it as a museum piece, adding it is just an important piece of pop culture history. Other items also up for sale included a leather glove owned by pop icon Michael Jackson and a mustard yellow velvet jacket worn by Elvis Presley in the film Girl Happy.
And with that concludes the English bulletin for today. Have a pleasant day ahead. Goodbye.